Welcome back, y'all. You're listening to Damien After Dark, a pop culture podcast where we deep dive into today's hot topics, celebrity gossip, and so much more. I'm your host, Damieongentry, and I'm thrilled to have you joining me for the next hour. So buckle up, because you better believe we're going to talk about it all, okay? And when I say talk about it all, I mean talk about Justin Timberlake was arrested for a DUI recently. And not only was he arrested for a DUI, he's been exhibiting some very strange behavior. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to play the video. Latto and Ice Spice. We know Latto and Ice Spice, they're both female rappers in the rap game. They're both beefing. Well, we know that they have some beef, right? They've been arguing. Now Latto is taking shots at Ice Spice on Twitter. We're going to talk about that. Also, Louisiana. What's going on with Louisiana? All right. Louisiana just passed a new state law where the 10 Commandments must be displayed in all classrooms in kindergarten through 12th grade. And some parents are not having it, okay? They're not having it. We're talking about that. As well as Julie Chrisley and Todd Chrisley from Christley Knows Best. We know they're in prison for tax evasion and bank fraud, wire fraud, all that. Well, catch this. Julie Chrisley, the wife, right? They filed an appeal. Well, a part of Julie's appeal was granted, and she's going to be resentenced. They found some discrepancies in her case, and she's going to be resentenced. We're going to be talking about that, as well as in our reality report. I got a new Bravo show that's coming out I'm going to be telling you about that I think you might be interested in, as well as we're going to be talking about the explosive fight that went down on this week's Real Housewives of New Jersey. Baby, it got physical, it got nasty quick, okay? You better believe we're going to talk about it, all that and more, right here on the Damien After Dark podcast, okay? Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you click that subscribe button and like this video. That helps me get into the YouTube algorithm so we can expand and grow the family over here, get more eyeballs on us, okay? Also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you join the conversation and get in the comment section below. Leave me your thoughts and opinions on any or all of these stories that we discuss on this episode, okay? And if you would like to donate to the Damien After Dark movement, on YouTube in the description box below will be some ways that you can donate using PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle. I'll also post my Amazon wish list down there as well. If you're listening on Spotify, you can go to my podcast page and there will be a way that you can donate there as well. I don't think there's a way you can donate on Apple Podcasts, but either way, I really appreciate you guys for supporting, listening, sharing, all that stuff, okay? Share the podcast with your friends, all that. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. It's June, you know, and I know I talked about this on my last episode, but it is like, does it not feel like it's a lot hotter to y'all than it normally is? Does it not feel like, I don't know where you guys are, but like in the South, it is so humid. Like it's like nearly 100 degrees, 98 degrees, somewhere like right there. And it's so hot that it's like sticky, wet, hot, and not in the way that I want to be sticky and wet hot, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like it's like miserable hot. It's like hot to where it takes your breath away, to where it drains your energy. It's like sickly hot to where you physically feel sick. I'm like, oh my gosh, like you can't even enjoy your summer. You can't even get out and enjoy the summer when the heat's like this, right? Shit, I told you guys on my last episode, I think it was my last episode, I told y'all I'm going to Miami in a few weeks. for about, for about 10, 11 days, something like that, 2 weeks. And I'm just like, damn, I'm not even going to be able to get out and enjoy the beach, get out and enjoy Miami because it's going to be so fucking hot. Well, I don't know. It was in the 80s in Miami today, so that's not too bad. But in other parts of the South, it's like 100 degrees. I guess down in Miami, they have the ocean to cool it down, so maybe it won't be as hot down there. Anyway, I hope you all are staying cool. I hope you all are having a lot cooler summer than I am. And let me just say this too, before we really get into the show. Please take care of yourselves and keep yourselves hydrated, okay? I never really talked about this here on the show, I don't think, but I had an older brother who has now passed away. God rest his soul. His name was Casey. He passed away from a heat stroke in 2014, okay? Now, before he passed away from a heat stroke, I never really thought about heat strokes. I never really, thought, I knew you could pass away from them. I knew that could happen, but I didn't know that they were that extreme. When I got a call that my brother was in the hospital for a heat stroke, I thought he was going to make it. You think, oh, they're going to be able to hydrate him. They're going to be able to, get them. They're going to be able to bring him back, right? My brother did not make it. He let his body get too hot. He overheated. He wasn't drinking enough water. He wasn't hydrated. And if you take medications too, be careful, y'all. Please be careful if you're taking medications, especially because my brother was taking, anxiety and depression medication and stuff like that. And these medication mixed with not drinking water, and it can take you down quick. Okay, heat stroke is a silent Killer. Heat stroke will take you down. You'll be feeling fine 1 minute, and then 30 seconds later, you're down for the count. So please take care of yourselves and drink plenty of water. Stay away from sodas. Stay away from sugary beverages. It's okay to drink those every now and then, but you've got to supply your body with water. All right? That's my little lesson of the day. That's going to be me bitching at y'all for today, okay? All right, without further ado, let's get into the hot topics and the headlines, okay? Hit it. So Justin Timberlake was taken into custody this past week while he was in the Sag Harbor, Hamptons area of New York, and he was arrested and accused of DWI, driving while intoxicated. Now, I hate when they say DWI, DUI. I'm like, what's the difference? Driving under the influence, driving while intoxicated? Aren't they the motherfucking same? I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. Anyway, according to NBC News, Justin Timberlake claimed he had just one martini before he was pulled over, yet he failed a field sobriety test and was arrested on suspicion of intoxicated driving early Tuesday in the affluent Hamptons area of Long Island, according to police. Timberlake, identified as a 43-year-old Franklin, Tennessee resident in the criminal complaint, was arraigned and released while having to post bail about 9 hours after he was arrested. Now, I didn't know Justin lived in Franklin, Tennessee. Franklin is a very affluent, wealthy neighborhood outside of Nashville. Franklin, Tennessee is like the Beverly Hills of Nashville, the Buckhead of Nashville, right? I didn't know Justin lived there. That's where apparently he's a resident at. But a lot of the stars are living in Nashville now. Tons of people are moving to Nashville, celebrities, everybody. Nashville is so saturated, and it's there's so many people that live there now. I thought that was interesting that he lived there though, because usually it's country singers, and there are others that live in Nashville too, but I just didn't expect Timberlake to live there. Anyway, Justin pleaded not guilty and was ordered to appear in court on July the 26th. Now, his attorney, Edward Burke Jr., said in a statement on Wednesday that, quote, "I look forward to vigorously defending Mr. Timberlake on these allegations. I will have a lot to say at the appropriate time, but am currently waiting full discovery from the district attorney's office," which discovery is the evidence, right? His attorney is saying, they're awaiting all the evidence from the district attorney before he says anything. Now, according to NBC News, Justin Timberlake was behind the wheel of a gray Florida registered BMW when he was stopped a little after 12:15 a.m. near Madison Street and Middle Line Highway, initially for driving through a stop sign and failing to stay on the right side of the road, according to the criminal complaint. But once police spoke to Timberlake, they said it was clear he was not in the shape to drive, according to the complaint. Now, they claim, quote, it was ascertained that the defendant was operating said vehicle in an intoxicated condition in that his eyes were bloodshot and glassy. A strong odor of alcoholic beverage was emanating from his breath. He was unable to divide attention. He had slowed speech. He was unsteady of foot, and he performed poorly on all standardized field sobriety tests. They also say that Justin struggled to walk heel to toe and to stand on one foot without swaying or using his arms to balance. Now, the officer quoted Timberlake as saying, quote, I had one martini and I followed my friends home. He also declined to be tested for impairment, said police, who allegedly he told them, no, I'm not doing a chemical test. Now, according to NBC News legal analyst Danny Chavelos, he says that, quote, a refusal can be introduced at a trial to establish conscious evidence of guilt. It is the predicate for a revocation of driving privileges. So if you you have the legal right to turn down a breathalyzer, but if you turn down a breathalyzer, it can be used against you in court as a conscious evidence of guilt. They're going to look at it like, if you're not drunk, then why would you turn the field sobriety test down, right? But according to this, Justin failed every single form of test that they had. Walk the line, stand on one foot, touch your nose, say your ABCs, whatever, backwards. Hell, I can't say my ABCs backwards sober. Either way, Justin failed the field sobriety test, okay? Now, if Justin was acting any way that he was acting, if he was acting the same way he was acting in this video that he was acting at his recent concert, I would have arrested him too, okay? Because this is why I think something's going on with Justin Timberlake. Something ain't right. He's either got a substance abuse problem or he's battling something. He's dealing with something because his behavior is just not right, okay? He's very much giving Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton circa 2007 behavior. You know what I'm saying? The Amanda Bynes, the Lindsay Lohan drunk hot mess. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? So I'm going to play this video for you guys of Justin Timberlake because he's on tour right now, okay? He got this DUI, but he's currently on tour. And while he was on tour, a fan videoed him as he walked by performing. And I want you guys, those of you that are watching on YouTube, because if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you probably won't be able to see what we're talking about here because I'm about to play a video. So if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, go on over to YouTube to get the full visual of what we're discussing here, okay? So this video that I'm going to play for you guys is a video of Justin performing at his one of his most recent concerts. Now I want you guys to pay attention to him. Look at his eyes, look at his face, just look at him when he's performing, and then we're going to talk, okay? Because it's very, very bizarre, all right? Now, that same look that he had performing there It's the same look he had in that mugshot, okay? Now, Justin, you deny being drunk. You deny driving under the influence. But that mugshot says otherwise, okay? Because that mugshot, them eyes are glossy, glassy, just gone, baby. You were gone. And you're lucky you didn't hurt somebody. You're lucky you didn't unalive somebody. You're lucky you didn't run over somebody. You're lucky you didn't run into a home, an animal, anyone, anything, right? Y'all be out here taking risks driving and drinking and driving like that. And when I say this, I'm not condoning drinking and driving, but I feel like, because they say buzz driving is drunk driving, which it is. However, I feel like there's a difference between, like he said, having one martini. Justin claims he had one martini, right? That's bullshit. You know, if I go out here to dinner and I have a martini, or I have one margarita, chances are I'm going to be okay to get home, more than likely. Now, should I be doing it? Probably not. But doing that versus 3-4 martinis, 3-4-5 shots, you know what I'm saying? You can't, we have to know better. We've got to know better to do better. And I think most people do know better. They just choose not to do better, which end in consequences like this, getting a DUI. Now, for those of you that are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I want to explain what my YouTube viewers and I were looking at, because y'all can't see this. But Justin you can go on Twitter, just type in Justin Timberlake, and you'll see the video. But he's pretty much performing, like he's walking through the audience, and he's like dancing, but he's making these weird facial expressions, and his face is red, and his eyes are glossy, and he just looks out of it. He looks out of it. Right? Something just does not look right to me. I don't know, Justin, but look. Anytime anybody gets a DUI, it's not good. This is not good for you. This is not good for your career. Now, some people said he did it as a publicity stunt. Now, I say it's not good for his career, but unfortunately, all publicity is good publicity. So maybe this actually will help his career. Maybe this actually will help his tour. I don't know how well the tickets are doing. Are you going to see Justin Timberlake on tour? I'm not. I don't give a shit about his music like that. But I don't think anyone would stoop this low for publicity. I'm sorry, but if you got to go get a DUI to sell a tour, you don't need to be touring, okay? If it's that bad that you got to go out here and I don't think he did that. Maybe he's got a lot of pressure to sell tickets and he's been drinking a lot. You know, maybe he's got a lot of stuff going on and he's trying. I don't know. I don't know if the tickets are doing bad or not. I don't know if they're doing well or not. Y'all let me know. But Justin, take care of yourself, because you're looking a hot mess right now. And where is his team? Just like I said with Nicki Minaj. Justin, where is your team? I get that these teams can't control these grown people. However, at the same time, I feel like a lot of these celebrities' teams are yes men. They're bobbleheads. They tell these people what they want to hear, when in reality, they need somebody to jack them up and say, hey, get it together, right? Let's talk about the rap girlies. I'm talking about Latto and Ice Spice. Because the girls are fighting. Now, we know Latto and Ice Spice, they've had some beef for a while now. They've been arguing back and forth on the internet for a while now, you know. I think at one point, Latto was on a Sprinter van partying with her friend, dancing with her friend, and Ice Spice's music video was playing in the background while they were on the Sprinter van. And Latto posted the video to her Twitter of her and her friend on the Sprinter, and people took it as like, oh, Latto, you're being shady. You're throwing shots at Ice Spice. You got her song playing in the background. I thought it was innocent at the time. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this time Latto taking shots at Ice Spice with a birthday cake, okay? Because just when we thought that the beef had cooled down between these two, Latto said, I ain't forgot. I'm still petty Betty, and I'm still gonna be petty, okay? Now, this is an article according to Billboard. According to Billboard.com, Latto made history by being the first woman to headline Atlanta's Birthday Bash summer concert put on by local radio station Hot 107.9. To celebrate this special occasion, Latto's friends presented her with a cake in the shape of the poop emoji with the message, "Holy shit, you're headlining." Right? So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to put the picture up here of the cake. This is the cake that Latto posted to her social media that her friends got her, because she's headlining Birthday Bash for 107.9 in Atlanta, right? So not only did Latto post this picture of this poop emoji cake, she tweeted a picture of the cake and put a caption, "Think I'm the shit, bitch?" Seemingly reigniting her feud with Ice Spice, right? So people are looking at this like, okay, she's getting shit started with Ice Spice again because she posted this cake with the caption, "Think I'm the shit, bitch." Now we all know that Ice Spice has got that song, "Think I'm the shit, bitch. You're not even the fault." It's not my song. I don't really care for it. I mean, I guess it's cute for a gimmick or like a little, but as far as like taking it serious as artwork, as music, as something I want to dance in the club to, not really. But Latto, I like you, Latto, but I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing here, right? However, because here's the thing, just like with the Justin Timberlake thing, all publicity is good publicity, right? This may be negative, this may be drama, but it's going to get Latto's name out there, just like it's going to get Ice Spice's name out there. It's actually going to help them both. These rap beefs, these rap feuds, keep you interesting, keep you in the media, keep you popping. Now, whether I agree with it or not, it's just the facts of the matter, right? That's part of rap culture, is the rap beefs. It's just part of it. However, Latto, I think this took away from your moment. I feel like you posting this whole, cake thing is taking away from your moment, because now you're making it about you and Ice Spice. If you're the first female to headline Birthday Bash, be that. Be the first female to do that. Because now it's overshadowed with Ice Spice. We're not doing a story up here about you headlining Birthday Bash. We're doing a story about you shading Ice Spice on your story and getting this feud reignited. So it's taking away from your accomplishment as the first female headliner. Now, I thought the cake was cute. Do y'all think the friends bought the poop cake intentionally as shade towards Ice Spice? Because I don't, because this cake says, "Holy shit, you're headlining," right? So I think they made a play on words. Holy shit, the poop emoji, you're headlining. And then I think Latto took it a step further and decided to, get shit started with Ice Spice. Because too, Latto also knows if I post this, it's going to go viral. Latto knows if I post this, the blogs are going to pick it up. People are going to talk about it. The fans are going to talk about it. That's going to, in return, result in more streams. That's going to result in more ticket sales. I mean, it's kind of smart in a way, too. I guess it's a double-edged sword if you think about it. I don't think Ice Spice has yet to respond to this. I don't know if I would respond to you if I was you, Spice. I don't know. I don't think you need the gimmicks, though, Latto. I don't think you need to do this to be successful. You're already doing great. You're doing well as a solo rapper. Why do we need to do this? Y'all get what I'm saying? And apparently that song, that Ice Spice song, "Think You the Shit, You're Not Even the," that was a diss track at Latto, apparently. And Ice Spice confirmed the song was about Latto. So it's not even alleged. She confirmed it on Twitter Spaces. Spice did. She confirmed that it was about Latto. And I would have never admitted that, Spice. I would never give no bitch. I'd never give no hoe the satisfaction of knowing that I made a song about her. Okay? in that case, Latto won, in my opinion. Okay? All right, let's move on. Let's move on from the rap girls. Now, y'all remember Todd and Julie Chrisley from Chrisley Knows Best, right? The popular family reality show Chrisley Knows Best that aired on the USA Network for about 8 to 10 years. We know that the family parents, Todd and Julie, were sentenced to prison for bank and wire fraud, tax evasion, all that. Well, now, their daughter Savannah has been working hard while they've been in prison. Their daughter Savannah has been on her Kim Kardashian shit, and she's been working hard to get her parents out of prison because she believes that they're innocent, and she believes that they are victims of an unjust criminal justice system. They believe that they are victims of, the justice system not working in their favor. Okay? Now, when her parents were sentenced to prison and went into prison to do time, Savannah has been on the outside working with attorneys to try to get their conviction appealed, right? So they have filed an appeal. Savannah and their attorneys have filed an appeal, and they're pretty much saying that there was some funny business that took place during the trial, and that her parents that did not get a fair trial, and that there were some discrepancies that were made. That some of the people that came on the stand during their hearing, like the IRS agent that testified, they say that the IRS agent gave false testimony, along with some other things, some other accusations that the Chrisleys have made when it comes to their trial and not getting a fair trial overall, right? Well, now, Julie Chrisley, the wife, the mother, is going to be resentenced for her bank fraud and tax evasion charges, okay? So apparently, before I read this article, long story short is, the judge found something that they thought looked funny, and they pretty much think that Julie, her sentencing was not fair, right? Now, a lot of people have said this since Julie and Todd went to prison, that, their sentencing was too harsh. Now, I have to agree with that, okay? Now, first of all, I want to say, do I think Julie and Todd Chrisley are guilty of the crimes they committed? Some of these, absolutely. Yes, I do. I do not think Julie and Todd Chrisley are innocent. There's no way that these two people were making all that money, living this lavish lifestyle, and then you had no way to account for it. What did you do to make money? What did y'all do to make money before y'all were on reality TV? Because you owed the IRS before you were on reality television, or as you first started getting on it. That's what blows my mind. They owed the IRS before they got on TV. Then they get on TV and they make all this money, and the IRS gives them a chance to pay it back, and they still don't pay it. Y'all were so selfish and stingy. And see, allegedly what they did, because see, a lot of people say, oh, they got a harsh sentence. And I do agree with that in a way, because, Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison and 16 months of probation, while Julie was ordered to serve 7 years in prison and 16 months of probation. Now, I do think those were severe sentences. However, when we look at it, they did steal $30 million. Okay? We're not talking about 30,000. We're not talking about 300,000. We're not even talking about $3 million. We're talking about $30 million was allegedly stolen from banks. And a lot of people say, oh, well, these banks have money, they'll be okay. But a lot of these banks that they stole from were local owned banks. The banks that you have in your town that are not the Bank of America's, not the Chase banks, not the PNCs, the family credit unions, those type of banks. These were smaller banks that went out of business because they defaulted. They couldn't pay. These banks went out of business because the Chrisleys stole allegedly $30 million from these banks. What they did was took out loans for up to $30 million, and then they filed bankruptcy on them later to not have to pay them back. On top of that, they weren't paying their taxes, right? Now let's get into this ABC News article. It says Julie Chrisley, who became famous for her appearance with her husband Todd Chrisley and their family on the reality show Chrisley Knows Best, will be resentenced for her fraud and tax evasion charges, according to a recent filing from judges. In November of 2022, Julie and Todd were sentenced on charges including fraud and tax evasion. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in prison and 16 months of probation, while Julie was ordered to serve 7 years in prison and 16 months on probation. The couple was also ordered to pay $17.8 million in restitution. Now, the couple has since filed an appeal to review their case. A ruling issued by a panel of judges from the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Friday, June 21st, and obtained by ABC News, revealed 5 arguments raised on appeal by the defendants. Quote, Julie asserts that the district court erred in sentencing her by holding her accountable for the loss amount of the entire bank fraud scheme. One of the arguments stated, according to the judges, upon careful consideration and with the benefit of oral argument, the district court, quote, did not identify the evidence it relied on to hold Julie accountable for losses incurred before 2007, and we cannot independently find it in the record. As a result, the judges ruled that Julie has been vacated from her sentence and her case will be sent back to the lower court for resentencing. Now, some people misconstrued this and took it as that Julie's out of the clear. Some people took this and said, oh, Julie did nothing, she's free, she's innocent, she's going to be resentenced and let out. No. If that was the case, there would be no resentencing. She would just be let out. She's going to be given a shorter sentence. What they're pretty much saying here is that they can't find evidence to support that Julie did anything wrong before 2007. Okay? Because Julie and them were being accused of doing a slew of things before 2007 and after 2007. Now, when they submitted this appeal, the judges looked at it and they said, okay, we see that Julie didn't do all this. She did some of it, allegedly, but anything before 2007, she had nothing to do with. However, Julie was sentenced as if she had something to do with things prior to 2007. Does that make sense? She was punished for some things that she didn't do prior to the year of 2007. So, they are going to resentence her. Pretty much, she got too much time. She got a harsh sentence. She got 6 years when she probably should have gotten 3. Let's just be real, right? Now, the judges go on to say, quote, while we agree with the government that the district court properly held Julie liable for losses incurred from 2007 and on, the district court's calculations included losses incurred in 2006, the ruling read. But neither the district court nor the government directs us to any evidence that Julie was involved in the conspiracy by 2006. So we vacate Julie's sentence and remand solely for the district court to make the factual findings and calculations necessary to determine loss, restitution, and forfeiture as to Julie and to resentence her accordingly, the ruling continued. In the court documents, the judges upheld the convictions of Julie's husband, Todd, and their accountant, Peter Tarantino. So, the judges said everything looks good with Todd. Todd was sentenced correctly. Everything looks good there. Cool. So Todd is staying behind bars. Julie will probably stay behind bars. However, she will probably get out a lot earlier than she was expected to. I never really thought Julie had a lot of hands. I never really thought Julie had played a big role in this anyway. Y'all know what I'm saying? I think Julie was more so guilty of being ignorant. Kind of like with Teresa Giudice from New Jersey when she went to prison for signing documents that her husband told her to sign. I think it was kind of a situation like that. I really don't think Julie really knew what she was doing. I think Todd was having a gay affair with that accountant, Peter Tarantino, or whoever. Not Peter Tarantino. I forget the guy's name. The guy that sold him under the river. The guy that blew the whistle on the Chrisleys and told on them. I think Todd was having a gay affair with him. And they were doing some illegal shit. And Todd had Julie signing stuff. And got him in trouble. That's what I think happened. Todd denies the gay rumors. The gay affair with the man. But you don't deny knowing the man. So this man just lied on you, Todd. This straight man, quote unquote straight man's just lying about a gay affair. Come on now. Now, Todd is currently being held at a minimum security federal prison camp in Pensacola, Florida, with a release date of September 2032. Ooh, child. Could you imagine if you was in prison and you didn't get out till September 2032? That's 8 years, child. If he was sentenced to 12, how's he only got 8 years left? I guess because you only do like 85% of your time. Before we move on from this story, Savannah, their daughter, the one that's been fighting for them while they've been behind bars, she took to her social media to address the ruling on Friday and update her followers. And she said, quote, "We got the opinion back on the appeal, and it didn't necessarily go as we hoped, but we do have a little win," Savannah said. After reading a part of the ruling from the judges, she continued by saying, quote, "What this means is that the appeals court could not find any evidence that attributed this $17 million loss amount to my mother. And for that, I am grateful, and I hope and pray that the judge can send her home. Right now, if we won nothing on appeal, she would be home this time in 2026. So I'm a firm believer that she will be coming home sooner than later," she said, adding that, quote, "Please just be prayerful and I have some other ideas up my sleeve to get Dad home." Now, Savannah, if you get both your parents home, I'm going to have to give you a lot of credit, sis. Because, you know, people have always looked at Savannah as the dumb, blonde, rich, spoiled, entitled kid. But we got to give her more credit than what she's been given. Because she's taken lemons and she's trying to turn it into lemonade. And I got to give her credit for that. However, sister, I don't agree with you when you said, you know, what this means is that the appeals court could not find any evidence that attributed this $17 million loss amount to my mother. If your mother had no hands in this at all, Savannah, she wouldn't be there, right? I mean, unless she was just falsely convicted, but I don't think your parents were completely innocent. Savannah, I think your parents were up to no good to live this rich, lavish lifestyle that you were fortunate enough to benefit from. Where did your parents make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from, Savannah? I get it. In her heart and in her mind, she doesn't want to believe that her parents did this. And I understand. You don't want to believe that your parents would do that. And you want to believe them. But at the end of the day, the evidence is there. Now, granted, you know, Julie got a little bit of a win. And she was convicted on some stuff that wasn't even there. So that's scary. That goes to show that, you know, this can happen to anybody. But they aren't entirely innocent. And I think we can all agree on that, right? We can all agree on that they're not entirely innocent. However, Julie will be home sooner than later. And I think that's great for their kids. I think that's great for their family. I don't want to see anybody, you know, go through what they're going through. But sadly, that's the truth of a lot of Americans, Julie, or Savannah. I feel sorry for you that your parents are in prison, but a lot of Americans have family that are in prison, and they don't have the money and the access that you guys have to hire lawyers and file appeals and do all that. A lot of people have to just deal with their parents being in prison, falsely accused or not. Not saying it's right or wrong that you've got the money and access. However, it's just hard to feel as sorry for you guys when you're so privileged. Anyway, moving on. Were y'all fans of the movie Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan? Yeah, y'all know I'm not a big movie person, but for all my movie buffs out there, apparently Freaky Friday 2 is coming in 2025. Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis posted a photo to their Instagram where they've been filming the sequel. In June 2024, Disney confirmed that a sequel to the hit 2003 film starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan is in production. Not only are Curtis and Lohan slated to reprise their roles as Tess and Anna Coleman, but a handful of other original stars are also expected to return. When the film celebrated its 20-year anniversary in May 2023, Curtis and Lohan reunited for an interview with the New York Times, where the latter said she would also be open to do a sequel. Okay, are y'all down for this sequel for Freaky Friday? Listen, I'm here for a sequel of anything as long as they do it right. Do it right. I don't know. I think you need good writers. I think, because the problem is with movies coming out with sequels, is I guess they try to drum the hype up, and they try to make these movies seem like, oh my god, we're getting a second one, we're getting a sequel, and then we get our expectations so high and our hopes up so high that it doesn't compare to the original, and then we're kind of let down, and then we kind of come to this place in our minds where we're like, we don't need a sequel. Stop making the sequel. Stop making sequels to all these great original movies. Y'all are ruining them. But I appreciate a sequel if you do it right and you don't try to compete with the original, right? The original was the original for a reason. Just like Mean Girls. They've tried to remake Mean Girls multiple times, and it's just never hit like the original. It never hit like the original. I'm sorry. Are y'all here for it? Are y'all gonna go see Freaky Friday 2? I'll be honest with you. I probably won't. Like I said, I'm not a really big movie person, but I'm happy for Lindsay Lohan. I've always been a huge fan of Lindsay Lohan as an actress, as a singer, as a socialite, as a hot mess. I feel like Lindsay Lohan is my alter ego, to be honest with you. But I'm happy for her because for the longest Lindsay didn't work. At one point, I think she still lives in Dubai, but Lindsay moved to Dubai years ago to get away from the Hollywood lifestyle. She was sick of paparazzi stalking her, so she moved away. But I'm glad to see her back working because I think at one point she got blackballed from the industry when, during her hot mess phase, when she was running around getting DUIs like Justin Timberlake and stumbling out of clubs and cigarette in one hand, Red Bull in the other, hot mess. So I'm happy for Lindsay. I'm happy to see that she's doing well. She's thriving. She looks healthy. She had a baby recently. She's married, I believe. I believe she has a husband now. So kudos to you, Lindsay. Good for you, my love. Now before we get into the reality report, let's talk about this new law that the state of Louisiana is requiring classrooms to do, okay? So first of all, parents are outraged in Louisiana because there was and there's been a lawsuit that's been filed from these parents. They're pissed that the governor signed a law stating that the 10 Commandments should be displayed throughout every classroom. Let me just read this real quick, okay? This is according to WDSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It says civil liberties groups filed a lawsuit Monday challenging Louisiana's new law that requires the Ten Commandments to be displayed in every public classroom. Opponents of the law, which was signed into law by Republican Governor Jeff Landry last week, had long warned of an impending lawsuit to fight the legislation that they say is unconstitutional. Under the new law, all public K-12 classrooms and state-funded universities will be required to display a poster-sized version of the Ten Commandments in large, easily readable font next year. Now, parents and opponents argue that the law is a violation of separation of church and state, and that the display will isolate students, especially those who are not Christian. Proponents say the measure is not solely religious, but that it has historical significance. So the parents are saying, look, we want separation of church and state, but then you got these religious nut jobs saying, well, the Ten Commandments are foundational documents of our state and national government. You know, they're saying that this is historical significance. This is history. That's the one thing I can't do about the South. One of the things that I hated about growing up in the South and living in the South was that it was the Bible Belt. That everybody is so brainwashed by religion, okay? And I'm not knocking anybody that's a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Catholic, whatever you are, by all means, live it. Believe what you want. You have that right to do so, right? It becomes a problem when you try to force it upon other people. And putting it in classrooms, requiring it to be in every classroom, K through 12, that is when you begin to force your ideology onto other people. Okay, you can talk about it being history or whatever. Everyone does not believe in the same God that you do. It's offensive to force these teachers to put these 10 commandments up. Now, granted, listen, the 10 commandments are not bad, right? I think that they are everyday principles that we all could live by. Thou shalt respect their parents, thou shalt not curse, things like that, right? But again, not everybody lives their life according to the Christian Bible. Not everyone follows that. And it just sort of seems cultish and brainwashing when you say you require it in K through 12 classrooms and state-funded universities. Like what? Do that at church. Keep that at church. Do that at Bible schools. Do that at Christian campuses and Christian universities. Yes, by all means. But everyone is not religious. Everyone does not follow the same God or rule of religion. So I'm confused. And these be the same people who are up in arms about pride, drag queens, things like that. Y'all be so up in arms about grown people living their lives and doing their thing. But you want to put the 10 Commandments up and force these teachers to put the 10 Commandments up on their wall. I don't know. Am I reaching with this one? I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts on this. And listen, I believe in God, okay? I don't believe in the Bible. I feel like the Bible was written to control the masses years ago. However, I believe in God. I believe in a higher power. But I'm very curious. I don't want this to turn into a whole religious God Jesus debate, but I do want to hear from you guys, especially y'all on YouTube in the comment section. Do you think it's wrong for the governor to enforce this law that requires teachers and professors to place the 10 Commandments in their classrooms? I don't know, something's just weird about it. Something is very off about it. I don't like when I feel like religion is forced and shoved down my throat. And that's just what it seems like. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back with the reality report. Okay? Okay, so we gotta get into this. I cannot wait to get here to talk to y'all about this, baby. Okay, are y'all watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey? Baby, it went down on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey between Danielle Cabral. This is new housewife Danielle Cabral. She came on last season. This is her second year. Between her and Jennifer Aydin, who has been on the show for 5, 6, 7 seasons. You know, she's a more seasoned housewife. Jennifer Aydin is. Now, these two, you know, were once friends last season, and then things got rocky when, you know, Danielle felt like Jennifer set her up last season with the whole Melissa rumor. The rumors about Melissa cheating on Joe. Well, now this season, the girls are bumping heads a little bit because Jennifer has heard some rumors about how Danielle does not treat her glam squad that well, right? I mean, we saw it on the show. We saw Danielle on the show say, who is Lena? Who is Lena to be in VIP, right? Danielle's hairstylist, Lena, was upset that she was kicked out of Danielle's party in the VIP section, right? So when Jennifer went back and told everybody about what Danielle had done to this hairstylist. Now keep in mind, Danielle has got a reputation, allegedly, for treating the glam hair makeup team, treating them poorly. She treats people like they're beneath them. If you are the hair, the makeup, the production assistant, you know, those type of people, you're down here, according to Danielle, allegedly. You know, that's kind of how she looks at you. So Jennifer was confronting Danielle about some of these things, about, you know, the way she treats her hair and makeup team, the way she treats her glam. And we see Danielle get so pissed at Jennifer for bringing this up. And she gets in Jennifer's face and calls her a dirtbag, right? She gets in Jennifer's face, oh, you're a dirtbag. You're dirty. You're dirty. We see Danielle get face to face in Jennifer's face. Now, let's stop there because I want to ask you, the viewers at home. Not only do I want to ask you, are you team Jennifer or are you team Danielle? But I also want to know from you guys, who's in the wrong here? Okay? Because Danielle gets in Jennifer's face, right? And says, you're dirty right here. Jennifer then pushes Danielle. And I don't mean a little push. Jennifer shoves Danielle. I mean shoves her like that. To where Danielle's body goes backwards. And when Jennifer pushes Danielle, Danielle picks up a plastic cup. Now, it looks like glass. When you watch the show, it looks like glass. However, it was a plastic cup. Because had that been glass, Jennifer Aydin would have had to have had her husband do plastic surgery. Jennifer Aydin would have had to have gone to the hospital. But baby, Danielle picked that cup up and she knocked the shit out of Jennifer Aydin. In all my years of watching Housewives, and I've been watching Housewives since 2009, 8, 9, 15, 14, 15 years. In my 15 years of watching Housewives, I have never seen another housewife knock the shit out of another housewife like that. Not Portia when she yanked Kenya's hair. Not Candace and Monique when Monique yanked Candace up. Nope. Not Danielle Stahl pulling Margaret's ponytail. Nope. Not Adriana Demora on Miami smacking Joanna Krupa in the face. Nope. This was probably the most violent I've seen the Housewives get, baby. This turned into Baddies New Jersey. Okay? The Real Housewives of Jersey, bitch, turned into the Jersey Shore. The Real Housewives of New Jersey turned into Bad Girls Club, Jersey Shore. Baddies, Jersey Shore. Baddies, Jersey. I don't know, but it was not the Real Housewives of New Jersey no more, baby. But listen, here's the thing. I can't blame Jennifer. I mean, not Jennifer, Danielle. I can't blame Danielle. But I also can't blame Jennifer. Because, granted, Jennifer made the first move, right? Jennifer made the first physical contact. However, Danielle, you were this close to that girl's face calling her a dirtbag. If somebody was that close in my face calling me a dirtbag, I'd probably shove you too. And we would just be scrapping. You know, you can't invade people's personal space, right? Like, it's one thing to dog somebody, cuss some point, bitch, fuck you. But when you get, like, right up in somebody's face, that's provoking. Because when you provoke like that, that's when you get knee-jerk reactions. When you provoke and get in people's faces, that's when you get that reaction that's not thought out so well. That impulsive, that reflex. There is no time to think in those moments. And I'm not, I used to like Danielle. I don't really care for her no more. And I'm more of a Teresa and Jennifer fan. However, I always call it like I see it. And I always call it real. And I can't blame Danielle in that situation. Now, Danielle, I don't think you should have gotten Jennifer's face. However, if I would have been shoved like Jennifer shoved Danielle, I would have knocked her upside the head too. Now, unfortunately, this is not a good look. Now I think we see why the reunion has been canceled. They say that the season finale explains why the reunion was canceled because the season finale was so explosive and so bad. But I mean, shit. Do we even need to see the season finale now to know why the reunion was canceled? Hell, we see. These girls can't be in a room with one another without getting violent, without getting physical, without glasses being shattered and fists being thrown, people being shoved. It's gotten so dark and so toxic that I hope you girls are happy because over half of y'all are going to be out of a job next season. Especially you, Jennifer. Jennifer, I don't think you'll be back. Teresa will be back, but I don't see Jennifer coming back. She's caused way too much damage behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. A lot of calculated drama, a lot of stage stuff she was doing behind the scenes. Puppeteering, allegedly. All I know is, now, regardless of what happened, Danielle, I know it looks bad on Danielle for what she did, but I feel like that raised her star power a little bit. Unfortunately, she looks bad. She's a mother and she's on TV knocking the hell out of somebody. But at least you were defending yourself, Danielle. I have to give you that. You didn't cower down. You didn't cry. You didn't run away. You didn't let nobody punk you. If anything, I think more people now, if they fire you, Danielle, if they fire you next season, I think you have a career in reality TV. I think more people are going to want to work with you because that moment is going to go down in Housewives history, Danielle. You just made Housewives history. That bitch, that bop upside the face to Jennifer, you just made Housewives history with that. I'm sorry you did. Let me know what y'all think, though, in the comment section. Are you Team Jennifer or are you Team Danielle? And do you think that their altercation went too far? Do you feel like Danielle went too far? Or was she justified? Was she just defending herself? Because here's the thing. People will say, I keep saying that a lot. Here's the thing. People like to say that Danielle went too far, but you can't. If you bite me, you can't get mad at me at how hard I bite you back, right? People get mad at how how people respond. Danielle will look like the aggressor in this situation, when in reality, Jennifer pushed her first. But again, Danielle, you shouldn't have shoved her. I mean, it's just a lot of moving parts to that situation right there. But I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions, so make sure you join the conversation. Get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about that. Now, this last story that we've got is, speaking of Housewives and Bravo. Bravo is filming a new show, and it's called Making It Manhattan. Making It in Manhattan, I think. Making It in Manhattan, yes. And it's pretty much starring a bunch of Nepo babies, okay? It's pretty much, imagine that, a bunch of privileged white kids trying to make it in Manhattan. Not privileged white kids. Let me take race out of it. Just a bunch of privileged rich kids, okay? Black and white. Living in Manhattan trying to quote-unquote make it. So I think they're trying to paint it as these wealthy rich kids that are trying to establish themselves in Manhattan, but aren't you kids already established? Anyway, here's where it gets juicy, okay? Because it's not just any old rich kids. We're talking celebrity rich kids and housewives kids, okay? So here's the thing. Bravo has pitched this show, and they're currently filming it. And it's following the kids of celebrities like Kimora Lee Simmons and Russell Simmons' daughter, Ming Lee. Y'all know Ming Lee? Ava Dash, daughter of Dame Dash, and Rachel Roy. Y'all know Rachel Roy is allegedly Becky with the good hair, the one that Beyonce was talking about in Lemonade. Their daughter, Ava Dash, Rachel Roy and Dame Dash's daughter. Some famous YouTuber, and then John F. Kennedy's great nephew. He's part of the cast. Okay, so we got these somewhat known kids, all right, or young adults, whatever. Now, where the drama comes into this show is, you got these group of these rich kids, right? They think that they're filming this show about the kids of famous parents, only to find out, where it gets interesting, is that allegedly the producers threw in some Bravo celebrities. Okay? So they had this group of celebrity kids filming, and then they say, oh, we're going to introduce some new cast members to y'all. And those new cast members are Kandi Burruss' daughter, Riley. We know Riley Burruss, right? From Real Housewives of Atlanta. Ariana Bierman, Kim Zolciak's daughter from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not Brielle, Ariana, the younger one. Gia Giudice, Teresa Giudice from Real Housewives of New Jersey, her daughter. Brooks Marks from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, his mother, Meredith Marks. So those four are also going to be on the show, right? Now, you might be saying, okay, Damien, where's the drama in that? Well, word on the street is, when Ming Lee and Ava Dash and JFK's great nephew, and when all these more upper echelon rich kids, celebrity rich kids, found out that the Bravo rich kids were coming on the show, they were pissed. They were pissed. Allegedly, some of them didn't want to do the show anymore. So what happened was, these kids, you know, the Ava Dash, the Ming Lee, the JFK's nephew, they come from old money, long money, right? They come from A-listers. We're talking Kimora Lee Simmons. We're talking Russell Simmons, Dame Dash. We're talking the big wigs in the industry. So their kids really think they're hot shit, right? So they're looking like, wait, we're going to be on a show with who? The Housewives kids? Gia Giudice, Candy Burris, Riley Burris, Kim Zolci. Who? Ew. I'm not doing that. Like, ew, no. I hang out with Gigi Hadid. I hang out with Kendall Jenner. Like, Ariana Beerman. Who is that? Ariana Beer Can. What? That's what allegedly is happening. Okay? Now, that's why I'm kind of interested in this show. Originally, when it was announced, I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, making it in Manhattan. What? But I'm very interested to watch these Nepo babies. These privileged white kids. I keep saying white because they're not all white. Because there's, Riley's obviously black. I think there's another black girl or black guy in the cast. But nepotism. Nepo babies. These babies that came into money. These children that came into money. It's going to be interesting to watch them make it in Manhattan and, watch their friendships and whatnot. Because we literally have these kids that feel like they're up here and they don't want to be hanging out with the Bravo kids down here. Right? Now, there's already been some footage circulating social media. We saw a scene the other day. We saw Riley, Brooks, Gia, and Ariana out filming at Countess Luann's. What does Countess Luann do? Not a masquerade. She does a burlesque show, some kind of cabaret. Cabaret, that's what it is. Countess Luann. They were filming at her cabaret. Brooks Marks, Ariana Bierman, Gia Giudice, and Riley Burris. So I think they got the Bravo kids filming, then they got the other kids filming, and they're going to bring them together. I don't know. What do y'all think about this show? Are y'all watching it? Making it in Manhattan. It'll probably premiere next year. I would say next year or the end of this year. I'm here for it. I'm going to give it a chance. It's already got some juice. It's already a little juicy. I want to see the dynamic of these two, groups of kids. Let me know what you guys think. Or let me know if you're here for this show. Now, the one thing that does worry me, though, is that it's not an authentic group of friends. I mean, these people are kind of thrown together. Gia, Ariana, Riley, and Brooks Marks, they're not all hanging out in real life like that. It feels like Bravo is trying to force all these kids together, and it's just like, I'm going to give it a chance. However, I don't know. This is the problem with reality TV. Y'all just want to throw any and everybody on a show with no chemistry. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to watch it, and that we will talk about it here, okay? I don't understand, though, Bravo. Why didn't y'all just cast a real group of friends in Manhattan trying to make it? That would have been more interesting to me. Real people who are really in Manhattan trying to make it, hustling, grinding, a real group of friends. Kind of like what y'all did with Vanderpump Rules 10, 15 years ago, but do it in Manhattan and not in a restaurant. Y'all know what I mean? Anyway, if y'all are here for it and you would watch it, let me know in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Damien After Dark. I really and truly appreciate you being here. It's been fun shooting the shit and talking smack with y'all. I'm so thankful to have you here. It's like having your gay best friend in your pocket. Take this podcast with you on the go wherever you're at with Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also watch a visual of the podcast on YouTube by subscribing to the Damien After Dark YouTube page. If you are watching via YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button and like this video. Also, get in the comment section and join the conversation. Leave me your thoughts and opinions on any or all of the topics that we discussed in this episode. Okay? And last but not least, if you would like to donate to the Damien After Dark movement and help us sustain and grow this podcast, in the description box below on YouTube will be ways that you can donate using PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle. I'll also post my Amazon wish list If you're listening through Spotify, you'll notice on my podcast page there'll be a way that you can donate. There'll be a link that you can donate there through. Thank you guys again for listening. I love you so much. And we'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. See ya.